Hello, my name's Andrew.
And I'm Emily.
Welcome to SHS TV. Today we will be sharing stories from our summers.
To start off, we'll be talking about Sophie, who made a journey across the UK to see her family.
So I went to Glasgow, Scotland, and then my family took a road trip down to Bath, England, which is in the south of England, which is where my family lives. I'd never been to Glasgow, so I would say that on this trip that was my favorite. I've been to Bath many times, and I love Bath, but I guess on this trip it was my favorite because it was something new. One thing that I noticed first was that the cars, when people drive on the other side, so the steering wheel isn't on the left side, which is kind of weird when you're looking at like cars driving because it's like nobody's in the driver's seat, but actually it's the passenger seat. In America, people don't really have tea, but in England, like people really do have tea all the time, and I love tea, so I really liked that. I miss, like in restaurants, I really miss how people, like if you order a tea in America, like they give you like not good tea, but in England, if you order tea, like they'll give you a pot and it's really good. And then you'll have sugar cubes, so I really miss that.
Next we'll be playing a report by Caleb about Ian Jaffe's trip over the summer and how he traveled thousands of miles away to Italy. While in Naples, he went all the way up to Mount Vesuvius.
I went to Italy and Spain. When we were in Naples, I got to climb Mount Vesuvius, which was pretty fun. We went to Pompeii, which is the obvious city under all the ash and stuff. And then after, we just decided to climb the mountain. My next favorite part of the trip was definitely jet skis. Me and my dad took 2 jet skis out in the water outside of the city, Palma de Mallorca in Spain. We don't really have a lot of tourists like Spain and Italy do. Like when you go to Spain and Italy, there's people from around the world that you see. Like it's not just Spanish people or Italians, it's like people from like all other countries in like Africa, South America, like everywhere.
Now we have Griffin's story about Kyle, who competed at lacrosse tournaments and accomplished many great things.
North Shore Snipers, and we're made up of towns all across the North Shore. We actually won 2 tournaments and we got in the finals in the other 2. I know I scored, I had points in every single game, which is nice, and I had some college coaches come up to me and ask me for my film. Knowing where to be, like knowing where people are, kind of being able to see the field before I anticipate my moves before I make them. I love not even so much the physical, but like the mental aspect of it.
Next up, Sophie gave us a story of the summer about Andrew, who got the chance to revisit his family's homeland in Portugal after 10 years.
I went to Portugal this summer. It's been about 10 years since I last visited Portugal, so I was about 6 years old. I wasn't sure what to expect, but of course I was happy to see my family again. Since it's been so long since I've seen them, they were very different from the last time, so I'm glad I got to catch up with them. I would say that the culture was a lot slower, and coming from America, I appreciate it a lot more because we got to appreciate the little things. That was one difference that I found in America. I would say that my favorite place that I visited was Lisbon. Such a great city, and there's so much to see, including like architecture. Even though I only got to spend a day there, I'd love to go back and spend some more time there because I feel like one day just didn't capture all that I wanted to see in the city. I'd actually love to visit Portugal again, perhaps in the next summer. Next is Ian's story about Caleb Brown, who taught kids the skills of television production that he learned himself in the past.
It was here, like right where we were recording actually, in the Swampscott High School TV studio. I think it was generally pretty easy. I mean, a lot of them picked it up like actually faster than some of the people I had to work with in a class before, so you know, I think kids just generally learn things fast, like how they say, like, learn languages young or whatever. I guess just, like, they're really strange ideas. Like, they wanted to make a sock puppet show about stealing wigs, and there was another one that was a game show that definitely wasn't Family Feud. All the answers were really bad. I don't know, just it's a different thought process than what we create. Like I said, the way they work on it is so much different. Their processes are different. First they want to just like come up with a list of like ideas instead of like actually going through a planning sheet or whatever and actually making it work out perfectly. They just kind of went with it, whatever they thought sounded good in the moment.
Now a story about Mike Creighton, who went to Washington, D.C. to go to the March for Our Lives.
Went to the March of Our Lives. I went with one of my friends, and when we were at the march, we biked 3 miles to go to the zoo. We also went to McDonald's a couple times, grub out on some Mickey D's. Well, on the planes there and back, nice little window seat, get to see the clouds. Crazy, man. There was so many people. It was like, so I climbed up on a pole, just look around, like, oh my God, looks like 4 billion people. My name's Mike Creighton.
Can you spell it?
MikeCreighton.
Our last story is Hollis's story about Timmy's trip to South Carolina, which he says were the best 5 days of his life.
Flew down to South Carolina. I mean, it's a new experience, I mean, I had never been to the state.
How long were you there for?
About a week.
Do you wish you were there longer?
Absolutely.
Would you go back?
Of course. We were on one of the world's tallest Ferris wheels. Sat on the Ferris wheel and watched everything happen. Yeah, we just looked out onto the city, Of course I miss it, but I was only there for a week. This is my home. I've lived here for 15 years.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed all these amazing stories.
For more videos, check out the SHS TV YouTube channel.